Dr. Kim Hyen rubbed his tired eyes as he stared at the computer screen. It was 3 in the morning, and the space monitoring station was quiet, except for the soft hum of machines. He had been working the night shift for 2 years, watching for signals from space. Most nights, nothing happened. Tonight was different. The numbers on his screen were jumping around like crazy. Something was sending a signal from far away in space. It was not random noise. It was a pattern, like math, repeating over and over. Hyen's heart started beating fast. This cannot be real, he whispered to himself. He checked the machines again. Everything was working fine. The signal was real. Hyen picked up his phone and called his boss, Director Park Min-ho. The phone rang 5 times before Park answered with a sleepy voice. Park here. What is wrong? Director Park, you need to come here right now. We have a signal, a real signal from space. Are you sure? Check the equipment again. I already did. 3 times. This is not a mistake. Something out there is trying to talk to us. Park was quiet for a moment. I will be there in 20 minutes. Do not tell anyone else yet. Hyen hung up the phone and stared at the signal again. The pattern was beautiful and scary at the same time. It was too perfect to be natural. Someone or something had made it. 20 minutes later, Park Min-ho ran into the control room. His hair was messy, and his shirt was not tucked in properly. Hyen showed him the computer screen. Look at this, Hyen said, pointing at the numbers. It has been going for 3 hours now. The same pattern, over and over. Park looked at the screen carefully. His face became very serious. Call the emergency team. Wake everyone up. This is what we have been waiting for. While Hyen made phone calls, Park stared out the window at the dark sky. The stars looked the same as always, but somehow everything felt different now. One by one, the other scientists arrived at the station. Dr. Yoon Taejeon came first, then Lee So-young, the communication expert. Soon the control room was full of people looking at computers and talking in excited whispers. The signal is getting stronger, Lee So-young said from her desk. It is like they are getting closer. Closer? Park asked. How close? Before So-young could answer, the computers started beeping loudly. All the screens showed the same thing. Something big was moving toward Earth very fast. Director, look outside, someone shouted. Everyone ran to the windows. At first, they saw nothing unusual. Then, like magic, lights appeared in the sky. Not small lights like airplanes, but huge, bright shapes that seemed to be made of crystal or glass. The shapes were bigger than any building Hyen had ever seen. They moved slowly across the sky, reflecting the moonlight in beautiful colors. There were 12 of them, arranged in a perfect circle around Earth. My God, Park whispered. They are ships, alien ships. People all over the world were waking up and looking at the sky. In Seoul, people came out of their apartments and pointed up at the strange lights. In New York, cars stopped on the highway as drivers got out to stare. In London, Big Ben chimed 4 times while people gathered in the streets. Back at the monitoring station, Lee So-young was working frantically at her communication equipment. I am getting something, she said. It is a message, but it is strange. Strange how? Park asked. It is coming in many languages at the same time. Korean, English, Chinese, Spanish, Arabic, all at once. But I can understand it perfectly. The room became very quiet. Everyone stopped talking and listened. So-young turned up the volume on her speakers. A voice filled the room. It was not like a human voice. It sounded like music, and wind and water, all mixed together. But the words were clear. People of Earth, the voice said. We are the Kathai. We have traveled across the galaxy to find you. Hyen felt his hands shaking. This was really happening. Aliens were talking to them. The voice continued. We are what you might call evaluators. We study young civilizations like yours. Your species has grown enough for us to notice you. This is important. What do they want? Someone whispered, but Park held up his hand for silence. We have watched many worlds and many peoples, the alien voice said. Some pass our test and join the greater community of space. Others do not. You have 7 of your days to show us who you really are. The voice paused, and in that silence, everyone in the room felt the weight of what was happening. We will not tell you what to do or how to act. That choice will show us everything we need to know about humanity. 7 days. Use them well. The voice stopped. The ships in the sky continued to move slowly in their circle, like they were watching and waiting. Park Min-ho looked around the room at his team. Get me the president's office on the phone, he said quietly. The world just changed forever. Outside, the crystal ships hung in space like beautiful, terrifying jewelry against the black sky, and 7 billion people on Earth looked up and wondered what would happen next. The next morning, every person on Earth woke up to a different world. The alien ships still hung in the sky like giant diamonds, and everyone wanted answers. President Choi Jae-min sat in his office with his top advisors. He had not slept all night. General Nam Woo-jin, the head of the military, paced back and forth near the window. We should prepare our weapons, the general said. What if this is a trick? What if they want to attack us? No, said Ambassador Han Ji-woo, shaking her head. If they wanted to hurt us, they would have done it already. Those ships are bigger than our cities. They could destroy us easily. President Choi rubbed his forehead. What do they want from us? What kind of test are they talking about? Before anyone could answer, all the televisions in the room turned on by themselves. The alien voice filled the office, speaking in perfect Korean. Leaders of Earth, we will now explain your test. Everyone in the room stopped moving. Around the world, the same thing was happening. Every television, every radio, every phone was broadcasting the alien message. We look for 3 things in young civilizations, the voice continued. First, we look for unity. Can your people work together when it matters most? Second, we look for cleverness. Can you solve problems in new ways? Third, we look for sacrifice. Will you give up something important for others? Dr. Kim Hyun was still at the monitoring station, listening with his team. They are not telling us exactly what to do, he said to Park Min. That is the point, Park replied. The test is how we choose to act. The alien voice spoke again. 73 worlds have taken this test in our long history. 42 passed and joined the community of advanced civilizations. 31 failed. Ambassador Han Ji-woo felt cold. What happened to the ones who failed? As if the aliens could hear her thoughts, the voice answered. Those who failed were left alone. We never contacted them again. They remained isolated in their small corner of space forever. In Seoul, a young teacher named Oh Da-yoon was watching the broadcast with her students. The children looked scared and confused. Teacher Oh asked a little boy named Moon Ji-ho, what if we do not pass the test? Da-yoon knelt down to look at the boy. Then we try our best anyway, she said. That is what humans do. Back in the government offices, arguments were starting. Defense Minister Kim Dae-ho wanted to show the aliens their strongest weapons. We should demonstrate our military power, he said. Show them we are not weak. But Science Minister Dr. Lim Young-ji disagreed. No, we should show them our smartest inventions, our technology, our discoveries, our space program. Religious leader Father Song Ki-ho had a different idea. Maybe they want to see our hearts, not our machines. Maybe they want to see how we treat each other. The arguments continued for hours. Every country had different ideas about what to do. Some wanted to build huge monuments. Others wanted to send rockets into space. A few wanted to prepare for war. Dr. Yoon Tae-jin, the scientist who studied the alien ships, made an important discovery. I have been watching their vessels, he reported to the government team. They are not just sitting there. They are scanning us. Not our weapons or our buildings, but our people. They are watching how we act. Meanwhile, ordinary people were having their own conversations. Factory worker Ko Sung-min in Busan called his friends. Did you see the news? The whole world is going crazy. Some countries are building weapons. Others are building statues. What should we do? Asked his friend Park Soo-jin. I do not know, Ko replied. But maybe we should help our neighbors instead of worrying about big government plans. Around the world, similar conversations were happening. People were scared, but they were also thinking, what did it mean to show unity, cleverness, and sacrifice? Dr. Bae Hyjin, a marine biologist, was working late in her laboratory when she had an idea. She picked up her phone and called her colleague in America. Dr. Johnson, this is Hyjin. In Korea, I know we have been competitors for years, but what if we worked together? What if all the scientists in the world shared their research for these 7 days? There was silence on the phone. Then Dr. Johnson said, you know what? That might be the smartest thing anyone has said all day. As the second day ended, something interesting was starting to happen. While governments argued about big plans, regular people were beginning to help each other in small ways. In Tokyo, strangers were sharing food with hungry families. In London, people were cleaning up their neighborhoods together. In New York, children from different schools were drawing pictures of friendship. Back at the space monitoring station, Lee So-young noticed something new. The alien ships are moving, she told her team. They are spreading out more, like they want to see everything we do. Dr. Kim Hye-yeon looked out at the night sky. The crystal ships glowed softly among the stars. I think they are not just testing our leaders, he said quietly. I think they are testing all of us. Somewhere in space, the Cathay watched and waited, curious to see what choice humanity would make. On the third day, something unexpected began to happen across Earth. Instead of fighting about what to do, people started doing things together. Ko Sung-min, the factory worker in Busan, woke up early and looked outside his window. His neighbor, an old woman named Mrs. Lee, was struggling to carry heavy bags of rice from the store. Ko had never talked to her much before, but today felt different. He ran outside to help her. Mrs. Lee, let me carry those for you. The old woman smiled. Thank you, young man. Everyone seems kinder today. Ko looked around his neighborhood. Other people were helping too. A group of teenagers was fixing an old man's bicycle. Women were sharing vegetables from their gardens. Children were playing together instead of staying inside with their phones. Maybe this is what the aliens want to see. Ko thought to himself. Across the city in Seoul, Dr. Bae Hyjin was in her laboratory, but she was not working alone anymore. Her computer screen showed faces of scientists from around the world. There was Dr. Martinez from Mexico, Dr. Okafor from Nigeria, and Dr. Petrov from Russia. We have been competing against each other for years, Dr. Bae said to the group. But what if we shared everything we know? What if we tried to solve the ocean pollution problem together? Dr. Martinez nodded excitedly. I have been working on cleaning plastic from water. You have been studying dying coral reefs. Maybe together, we can fix both problems. Within hours, scientists who had been rivals were working as a team. They shared their research freely, something that had never happened before in the scientific world. In a small school in Daegu, 10-year-old Moon Ji-ho was drawing pictures during art class. His teacher, Miss Park Soo-jin, noticed that all the children were drawing the same thing, pictures of people from different countries holding hands. Teacher, Ji-ho said, raising his small hand, what if all the children in the world made something together for the aliens, like a big art project that shows we can work together? Miss Park looked at the boy's bright eyes. That is a wonderful idea, Ji-ho, but how could we tell children all over the world? The internet, shouted a girl named Kim Yuna. We can. Use computers to talk to kids everywhere. Miss Park smiled. She helped the children make a video message and put it on the internet. In the video, the Korean children held up their drawings and spoke in simple English. Hello, children of the world. We want to make art together. Draw pictures of friendship and peace. Share them with everyone. Let us show the aliens that young humans care about each other. The video spread incredibly fast. Within 6 hours, children in 150 countries had seen it. They started drawing, painting, and making their own videos. A boy in Brazil drew a picture of the Earth, surrounded by hearts. A girl in Kenya made a clay sculpture of children dancing together. Twins in Canada wrote a song about helping others. Meanwhile, something amazing was happening between countries that had been enemies for decades. General Kwon Dong-haen had spent his whole career preparing for war. But on this day, he received a phone call that changed everything. General Kwon, this is General Rodriguez, from the country we have been fighting with for 20 years. The voice said through a translator. I know this sounds crazy, but what if we stopped fighting and helped people instead? What if we used our soldiers to bring food to hungry families, instead of fighting each other? General Kwon was quiet for a long moment. Then he said, General Rodriguez, I think that is the best military strategy I have ever heard. Within 12 hours, soldiers from enemy countries were working together. They brought medicine to sick people, built houses for families without homes, and delivered food to places where people were hungry. Instead of pointing weapons at each other, they were pointing the way to help centers and hospitals. Religious leaders were also doing something new. Father Song Ki-ho in Seoul called his friend Imam Hassan in Turkey, his friend Rabbi Goldman in Israel, and his friend Monk Thich in Vietnam. My friends, he said, people are scared. They need hope. What if all the religious leaders in the world prayed together? What if we showed people that different faiths can work together for peace? Soon, churches, mosques, temples, and synagogues around the world were holding joint prayer services. People who had never talked to each other because of different religions were sitting together, asking for wisdom and peace. Dr. Kim Hyun, at the monitoring station, was watching all of this happen through news reports and social media. Look at this, he said to his colleague Lee So-young, pointing at his computer screen. People are not waiting for their governments to make big plans. They are just helping each other. So-young was monitoring the alien ships. The Cathay vessels are moving again, she said. They are getting closer to Earth. It is like they want to see better. Park Min-ho, the station director, walked over to them. Maybe they are surprised, he said. Maybe they expected us to try to impress them with big weapons or fancy technology. Instead, we are showing them how we treat each other. As the third day ended, the crystal ships in the sky glowed a little brighter. All over Earth, people were going to sleep, knowing they had helped someone that day. Children dreamed of their art projects, connecting them to kids on the other side of the world. Adults dreamed of a world where enemies could become friends. The aliens watched it all, and for the first time in their long history of testing civilizations, they began to wonder if they were about to witness something completely new. On the 7th day, the world held its breath. Everyone knew this was the final day of the test. People gathered in their homes, in parks, and in public squares, waiting to hear what the aliens would decide about humanity. Dr. Kim Hyun was at his monitoring station with his team, watching the crystal ships in the sky. The ships had been moving in slow circles around Earth for 6 days, but now they were perfectly still. President Choi Jae-min sat in his office with leaders from around the world on video calls. Everyone looked tired, but hopeful. For 6 days, they had watched their people work together in ways no one thought possible. Whatever happens, said Ambassador Han Ji-woo, I am proud of what we did. We showed our best side. Suddenly, every screen, every radio, every phone on Earth came alive with the alien voice. But this time, something was different. The voice sounded ... sad. People of Earth, the Kathai voice began, we must tell you something we have never told any civilization before. Around the world, 7 billion people stopped what they were doing to listen. We have been watching you for 7 days. We have seen your kindness, your cooperation, your willingness to help each other. But now we must ask you for something that will show us your true nature. Dr. Yoon Taejan, the scientist studying alien technology, felt his heart beating fast. This sounds different from what they said before. The alien voice continued, and the sadness in it became more clear. Our homeworld is dying. For thousands of years, we have traveled across the galaxy, testing other civilizations. But we have a secret. We are not just evaluators, we are also refugees. Farmer Kim Dae-ho in the countryside stopped feeding his chickens and stared at his radio in surprise. Our planet is becoming too hot. Our air is poison. Our children are sick. We have the power to take what we need from your world by force. We could make you give us your clean water, your fresh air, your healthy land. But our test asks this. Will you help those who came to judge you? In Seoul, 10-year-old Moon Ji-ho was listening with his family. Mom, he whispered, the aliens need help. His mother nodded, her eyes filling with tears. Yes, sweetie. They need help just like we do sometimes. The alien voice spoke again. We have tested 73 worlds before yours. Every single civilization either tried to impress us with their strength or begged us not to hurt them. Number species has ever offered to help their testers. Will humans be the first? President Choi Jae-min did not need to think long. He picked up his phone and called an emergency meeting with world leaders. The meeting lasted exactly 12 minutes. Then President Choi appeared on television to speak for all of humanity. To the Kathai people, he said, looking directly into the camera. We vote yes. We welcome you to Earth. We will share our home with you and your children. We will help you find a way to heal your world. You came here as judges, but you are leaving as friends. Similar messages came from every country on Earth. Prime Minister Tanaka in Japan offered to build homes for alien families. President Weber in Germany promised to share clean energy technology. President Okafor in Nigeria offered medical help for sick alien children. But the most powerful response came from ordinary people. Farmer Kim Dae-ho called his local news station. I want to offer my fields to any alien families who need a place to grow food, he said simply. Teacher Park Soo-jin organized her students to make welcome signs and mathematical symbols that the aliens could understand. The signs said friends. Welcome here in the universal language of numbers, Dr. Bae, Hai-jin, and her international team of scientists. Immediately offered to help clean the alien home world using the ocean cleanup technology they had been developing together. Even General Kwon Dong-hyeon, the military leader, opened his bases as temporary shelters. Any being who needs safety is welcome here, he announced at the monitoring station. Lee So-young was picking up alien communications that were not meant for humans. The Kathai were talking to each other, and they sounded shocked. They are confused, she told Dr. Kim Hyeon. I can hear them asking each other, how is this possible? How can they offer help to strangers who have power over them? The alien voice returned to Earth's communication systems, but now it sounded amazed instead of sad. People of Earth, in 10,000 years of space travel, across 73 different worlds, we have never experienced anything like this. Every other species either tried to show us their weapons to scare us, or tried to give us gifts to make us happy, or begged us to leave them alone. There was a long pause. Then the voice continued with something that sounded almost like wonder. You are the first species to offer help to those who held your future in their hands. You saw beings with great power, and instead of fearing us or trying to control us, you asked how you could help us. Dr. Im Chae-young, speaking for the world's scientific community, gave humanity's simple answer. You asked us to show unity, cleverness, and sacrifice. helping others who need it, even if they might be dangerous, shows all three things at once. As the sun set on the seventh day, the crystal ships began to glow more brightly. The Cathai had received their answer, and it was unlike anything they had ever experienced before. The eighth day came with a sunrise that seemed brighter than usual. The crystal ships in the sky were glowing with soft, warm light that made them look like gentle stars instead of scary alien vessels. Dr. Kim Hyen was still at his monitoring station, but he was not tired anymore. Something amazing was about to happen, and everyone on Earth could feel it. The alien voice filled the world one more time, but now it sounded completely different. It sounded happy, surprised, and maybe even grateful. People of Earth, the voice began. You have done something that we thought was impossible. In Seoul, President Choi Jae-min gathered with his advisors to listen. Around the world, 7 billion people stopped their morning activities to hear what the aliens would say. In our long history of testing civilizations, we have seen species try to impress us with powerful weapons. We have seen others build great monuments to show their cleverness. We have seen many civilizations beg for mercy or try to hide from us. The voice paused, and in that silence, everyone held their breath. But you did something we never expected. You changed the test itself. Instead of trying to pass our test, you offered to help us. You turned judges into friends. You turned a test into an invitation. The crystal ships began to move closer to Earth. For the first time in 7 days, people were not afraid to see them coming nearer. We are going to land on your world now, not as conquerors or evaluators, but as guests. We want to meet you face to face. One by one, the beautiful ships descended from the sky. They landed gently in open fields and parks around the world. The ships did not make loud noises or burn the ground. They settled down like giant soap bubbles touching the grass. In a field outside Seoul, one of the largest ships came to rest. Dr. Kim Hyen and his team were among the first humans to see the aliens step outside their vessel. The Cathai were nothing like humans had imagined. They were tall and thin, with skin that looked like it was made of crystal or glass. They changed colors slowly, like rainbows moving through their bodies. They were beautiful and strange at the same time. The first alien to approach the humans moved carefully, like it was not sure what to do. When it spoke, the words came not from a mouth, but from the musical sounds its crystal body made. I am called Veltar, in your language, the being said. I am the one who has been speaking to your world. We are not sure how to thank you. Dr. Kim Hyen stepped forward. His hands were shaking, but not from fear. He was excited to meet the first alien he had ever seen. You do not need to thank us, Hyen said simply. You needed help. We help people who need help. That is what humans do. Veltar's crystal body turned a warm golden color. That is exactly what we could not believe. Every other species we met thought only about themselves. They wanted to survive, or to impress us, or to gain power over us. You thought about us. Similar scenes were happening all over Earth. In Tokyo, alien children who looked like small, moving jewels played with human children in the park. In New York, alien scientists shared their knowledge about healing sick planets with human doctors. In Cairo, alien artists created beautiful light sculptures with human painters. But the most important meeting happened in the small school in Daegu, where 10-year-old Moon Jiho had started the children's art project. An alien who called itself Zephyra came to the school specifically to meet Jiho. The alien's crystal body was smaller than the adults, and it sparkled with many colors. Small human, Zephyra said to Jiho. Your idea to make art together across your whole world showed us something we had never seen before. You thought about children you had never met, in places you had never been, and you wanted to include them all. Jiho looked up at the beautiful alien with wide eyes. Did you like our pictures? Zephyra's body turned bright pink with happiness. We loved them. They showed us that your species thinks about others naturally, even your youngest members. Meanwhile, back at the monitoring station, Veltar was explaining to Dr. Kim Hyon and the world leaders what would happen next. We are leaving your world, Veltar said, but not because you failed our test. We are leaving because you passed. It's so completely that you have become our teachers instead of our students. Ambassador Han Jiwoo looked confused. But what about your dying world? What about your children who need help? Veltar's crystal body glowed with warm light. You have already helped us more than you know. You have shown us that the answer to saving our world is not taking from others, but working together. We will return to our home and try to heal it using the cooperation we learned from watching you. Before they left, the Cathai shared gifts with humanity. Not weapons or powerful machines, but knowledge about healing, about growing food in bad soil, about cleaning poison from air and water. They also gave humans a star map showing where other young civilizations might need friendly guidance instead of judgment. As the crystal ships prepared to leave Earth, Veltar spoke to the world one final time. We came here as the Cathai, the evaluators. We leave as the Cathai the grateful. You have taught us that the strongest civilizations are not those who can take what they want, but those who give what others need. The ships rose slowly into the sky, their crystal surfaces reflecting the hopes of 7 billion humans, who now looked at the stars differently. Earth had not just passed a test, it had changed the testers themselves, proving that compassion was the greatest power in the universe.